As a salesperson, why is it that you should have the belief of no mulligans on sales calls? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California. A perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. So here's the thing. Sometimes companies that you work for will give you leads. And sometimes, the salespeople will look around and say, hey, I'm graded and I'm judged on the leads that I'm given, but I don't want leads to count against me. And I'm going to say that that's a huge mistake, even if that lead shouldn't count against you for the sales process. I'm going to explain to you why. When you know as a salesperson that you can't take mulligans, it makes you a better salesperson. It makes you force yourself to find better ways to sell. And there's been a couple of instances in my life with friends of mine or people that I coach, and they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, Scott, it's not fair. It's not fair. They're giving all the good leads to that guy or that girl. And I have to remind them, like, look, time out. There is no perfect lead. It is your job to take that lead and make it a perfect lead. And the example of one of my friends, Chris, 10 years ago, this was really happening to him. He had a manager that had it out for him. He had a manager that had a problem with him. And so the manager took away the entire area that he was really good at. She gave it to somebody else, and she gave him what everybody viewed as bad areas. And he came to me, and he's like, Scott, I don't know what to do. And I said, you learn how to sell so that no matter what gets thrown at you, what will happen is you can go close a deal. And that's what he did. He figured out he had to. He had to figure out how to go close deals that nobody else did. But there is a byproduct of this you need to understand. That when you can close deals that nobody else can, when you have the ability to go close sales that other people want to throw away, what they do is they start going, that sales guy, he's a liar, he's a cheat, he's a fraud, he's doing something unethical. And you got to know that, like, that person who's getting what may be, which may truly be the cream of the crop leads, which may truly be the very best leads, is essence going to become a lazy salesperson. They're not going to be able to stick in the deals. They're not going to be able to sell all the other leads that you can because you had to learn how to fight for what's going to be a tough lead. Remember, there's no perfect lead. You make it a perfect lead. This is why I'm saying, when you take mulligans in sales and you're like, oh, this one shouldn't count against me, what you're saying is like, look, I didn't have the sales skills to talk to that person, to get them engaged, to get them in the conversation, versus I like it when people are like, hey, Scott must be doing something that's absolutely crazy. And they start throwing all the stuff around me saying all the reasons why I should sell. I'm like, come with me. I'll show you how I close some deals. No problem, right? You think that I'm being unethical? You think I'm a liar? You think that I'm a cheater? You think that I'm a fraud? Come with me. No problem. Any day, any call, any lead. And I can think back of a couple of years ago where I was working for a company, and I literally went to them and I said, I want every hard lead on paper. I want all the most difficult leads you can think of. And the salespeople were like, hey, Scott, just, he got all the leads. And the lead coordinator went to him and said, no, he asked for it. He wanted every difficult lead. Because I knew that it would sharpen my sales skills and my abilities. And this is why I'm letting you know. Every time that you take a mulligan, it's like taking your sales skills and taking it down a notch. And you may not look at it that way, and it may not be a popular thought for you, and it may hurt your feelings to say that. But I'm going to let you know, when you look at life, like, there is no perfect lead unless I make it a perfect lead. You have to fight a little bit harder for that call. You have to plant the seeds. You have to give a presentation. And if you don't have the ability to bounce out, man, it makes you that much better of a salesperson. So think about this. Let's say that there's something super egregious that happens in your sales process, and you're the guy that never, or the girl, that never complains about anything, and you go to the boss, and you go to the manager, you go to your lead coordinator, however it works for your company or organization, you're like, hey, look, I haven't said anything for the last 4 years and 2 months about my leads. There's a problem with this one. That person's going to listen to you and be like, what just happened? That sales guy or that sales girl came to me, and I have never heard them say that. There's got to be a problem. It's like the salesperson that cried wolf, right? The salesperson that cried wolf is always the guy or the girl that's in there with a sales lead coordinator, a sales manager, a business owner. These leads shouldn't count against me. Well, it gets old after a while, okay? No mulligans makes you a better salesperson. No mulligans forces you to find and acquire sales skills and techniques, strategies, find your own sales lessons, find your own sales trainers, and it helps you avoid sales sabotage. So anybody that I work with in a coaching, it's like one of the first rules that they have to sign off on, like, no mulligans. We're going to have to find reasons for you to stick in the call and make it the perfect call instead of waiting for the perfect call. So there you go. You got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent out a video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Aloha.